Well, good morning, family. It's Talk to People Tuesday. How is everyone doing this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday morning? Thank each and every one of you for waking up and dialing into the Chief Effort Lifestyle Call, where you will hear things that will move you from fact to faith to action. This is your host, Pastor Michelle, along with my business partner, Pastor Del Wafer. Family, the line is open. Introduce yourself and let us know where you're calling in from.
Hello?
Gregory Marshall,
Hello,
Cincinnati,
how are
Ohio.
you? Hi, Ohio. How's it going in Ohio?
It's going very well.
Wonderful. I had a dynamite weekend this weekend, I think, right?
I'm sorry?
You have an exciting weekend coming up, actually. You have on December 6th, some great things that happen in the area, huh?
That is correct.
All right. Make sure the guest is in the house.
All right.
Good to have you here this morning, sir. Well, kids and comments down who has with us this morning, go right ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who's that calling from Upper Marlboro?
Anita.
Hi, Lynetta. How are you and Jerome doing?
We're great, doing great in the sunshine day.
Oh, yes. Good to hear you this morning.
And Pastor Denise.
Hello, how are you? Hi, who's that?
I'm from Newark, California.
Woo! Hello, how are you this morning?
I'm good. I just got finished praying. I'm excellent.
I will know you are, girl. You keep spreading that good news, right?
That's right.
You still sharing your testimony?
Girl, I'm walking around sharing it. I'm sharing it with everybody.
That's a good thing. People need to hear it. Shout it from the rooftop. All good news, right?
That's right. I poured a CD about it.
Oh, my goodness. Ooh, girl, that's why I take it to the next level. Hey, comment, family. What's this morning? Go right ahead and introduce yourself.
Very well. Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Hi, Ray from Michigan. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. How's everything going in Michigan?
15 degrees.
Oh, wonderful. Good to hear you here.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Keep your comments and they're going to be out in just a minute.
Suzanne. I think so.
Right.
The conference is now in presentation mode. Your line is muted.
In the background, just please remember, family, when you dial in, it is a corporate conference call, and if you have a recording or some talking or radio or television playing in the background, you're going to just need to mute out. Just push *6, and that will mute you out, but we won't hear that distraction in the background. And when you want to introduce yourself, just unmute, give us your name, and go back and mute out. Just remember, the calls are being recorded, and when your TV or your recordings or your advertisement is playing, that's coming through the phone line. We don't want any distractions. We want to be able to hear everyone's name, where they're calling in from. So when we get together for the big event, we can match the name to the face and have a grand time with the family. We're excited because we know we're coming upon our 1-year anniversary. 2015 is going to be on and shaking. I want you to think about where you want to be in 2015. Position yourself, see yourself there, make your confessions, and make it happen. Are you going to be an executive by then? Are you going to be an executive founding member by then? It can happen. You still have the rest of the month to make that happen. And there's that promotion that you get to. Two diamond partners, one on the left, one on the right. Also, to get to executive level, and you will receive the title of an executive founding member, and you will also walk across the stage and receive a check for $1,000. 2015 is right around the corner, family. So set your goals and make them happen. I'm going to stop right here because we have such a great business partner on the phone with us today, and I want to hear everything she has to share. So I'm going to bring on my business partner right here, Pastor Del Wafer. Are you there, sir? Did you just mute out, Pastor Dale? Did you mute or did you unmute?
I think I muted. What's happening? Yeah. What's going on, lady?
Hey, man, there's so many great things going on in Team Up Network. I don't know how we're going to contain all this.
Well, it's a lot of excitement and a lot of, moving parts as we're talking to other people. And, you got a lot of people, on the verge of doing some pretty big deals here. I was talking to some people yesterday, and they got some people that really want to bring in a lot of people, from another organization. And a lot of people are starting to see that these sprays are working. They're starting to see the testimonies and the friends and families that's using them. They're starting to realize that we really have a product that's not hype, but it's a product that actually works, top quality, no frills, no fillers, no binders, but actually natural product delivered at the highest level of delivery that you can possibly get so that you can get the best results that you can get. And that's starting to happen. We've been hammering away now for over a year, just hammering away, talking about 10 and talking about the products and getting the products out. And people have been using them. People have been telling other people about them. Now the results are coming in. Now people are really, really being excited because this stuff really works. So we're really excited about it, and we're looking forward to just expanding the brand and expanding it more and more and more.
And that's what's happening. That's what I was thinking, that, we have a product that's going to forever be in the market, and people are really beginning to talk about the 10 vitamin sprays. As you said, we have a product that works. We have a compensation plan that works. And you got to think about it. We have the 10 oil vitamin sprays being talked about around the globe. I mean, from Japan, Australia, to UK, to Dubai, to India, to the Philippines, to Mexico, to Malaysia, to Canada, to South Africa, around the world. But the great thing about it is look at where we are positioned as this is unfolding before us. Look at where we're positioned. And it is a position of favor. And I just pray everyone sees that vision, because ready or not, here we go. Here we go. Pastor Dale, we have an awesome leader on the call with us today. And I want you to please take the time to introduce her. She's such a team player and such a patient person, I have to say, full of wisdom and knowledge, and just loves to share everything she gets. So let everyone know who's going to be our speaker for today.
Well, we haven't had her on the call, presenting in a while. But, she's always out there hammering away, doing some great things that she has going on. And she's been doing some things that she's been leading the effort across the pond over there in the UK, and we're glad to have her on the call with us today. And so we're going to let her talk about some of the things that's happening there, what she's doing there, and what's taking place around the globe and in the UK. So we're glad to have with us today Dr. Anita Poole. Dr. Anita, are you with us?
I am here. Can you hear me okay, Dale?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I am great. I am great. Actually, very exciting today, Dale. I just ordered my banner, first UK banner for TEN.
All right.
I just literally, I've just been working on this for a short while and just approved the final proof. So very exciting. I'm going to try and get it in for this Friday because I have another event coming up on this Friday. And you never know, we might have the first UK event with TEN banner. So, literally last Friday I had the first exhibition of putting the TEN sprays out there in an exhibition. I just did it with some, just ordinary flyers and leaflets that I had, just ordinary things, some of the things that corporate have put in our back office. I ordered some of those. And, no banner, but I positioned myself right at the door. So, just a few tips, folks. When you start off doing your exhibitions or shows or stalls or fairs or anything like that, try and get the best position that you can. Now, it's not always easy because obviously our sprays are new. We're likely to be the newbies on the market kind of thing. So, when we enter these shows and we want to start exhibiting, often there'll be a lot of other health and well-being people who maybe, are quite established. They've done that particular show before. They've got their place and all of this kind of thing. And that's exactly what I experienced. I literally booked a certain table. Fortunately for me, I got a little bit upgraded, which was really nice. And even though the actual organizer took me into that room, showed me where to go, etc., and I was, cutting it fine, moved from one place to the other to set up quickly. The reality is, as she walked out the door, another exhibitor in health and well-being tried to get me moved to a different position that wasn't so beneficial. But the important thing, folks, if that ever happens to you, hold your ground, hold your ground. I just said to her, look, this is where I'm placed. I'm up against it time-wise. I've got to set up right now. If you want me to help you move a table here, there, or anywhere, I'm staying where I am because I knew it was right next to the door. As people enter, the first place they're going to look is either straight ahead or the very first stall. So ideally, when you start your exhibitions, etc., pretend that you're the customer walking in and think of where your eyes would go. And if possible, try to put your stand there. Now, it's not always possible. Fortunately for me, I was able to do it. And often it pays off because as people walk in, they stop at the first place that they see. And sometimes they don't have time to finish all the places in the room. So it's the people at the beginning that they'll tend to spend more time with and make sure that they actually look at what those products are. So that was very, very useful. So Dale and Denise, anything in particular you want me to speak about?
Dr. Poole, you attended a medical event. I don't know if Pascal has something, but I know you attended a medical event, I think a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago in UK, and there were some things there that you said you would love to share with us. If you can remember, we'd love to hear some of that information.
Okay, a medical event, I'll have to just think very quickly.
Well, it has something to do with the importance of vitamin D, and then the importance of the slim, the slim by 10 that we have, and the obesity issue that we have there in the UK, as well as around the globe, actually.
Okay, that was actually various things that we have in the media going on at the moment. And actually, Denise, one of the other things that's very, very relevant to us, something I haven't mentioned in the past, which I think is a trend that we need to be well aware of, is GM foods. Genetically modified foods, the seeds are owned by a certain company because the way in which those genetically modified foods will be produced, it's almost like copywriting something. And so those seeds can only be got from a certain company. When a certain company, and they're often very, very big companies, obviously, huge multinational companies like Monsanto, etc. So once GM foods, and they're already, heavily around the world, for example, the USA and Canada, it's less so in the UK because of certain legislation. But as GM foods increase, it's a little bit, now I'm not saying I'm for or against GM foods. There are many different ways of thinking about GM foods. There's a lot of benefits and there are some question marks. It's like all new science, it develops as it goes along. and you don't always know the outcome will be 100% good or maybe a few disadvantages. Just like when pharmaceuticals came along, sometimes you don't know all the side effects until there's been enough of it on the market. There can be as much testing as possible, but anything that interferes with nature slightly puts nature out of balance. It's only natural nature, the way it's made, that God made it, that somehow it's an incredible thing. Everything is always in balance. The moment man starts interfering in things, we haven't got the ability to interfere in a way that the outcome of one thing doesn't affect the outcome of another thing in a negative way. Now, we've seen with pharmaceuticals, there are many, many benefits, and sometimes there can be disadvantages. We've seen with our products, they're natural, nutritional oral sprays, no fillers, no binders, just as Dale was saying, nothing unnatural in it. We've seen through the testimonials, we're having great, great results with people's bodies coming back into balance, whether it is because they had some kind of disorder, and we're not saying we can claim to treat, cure, or prevent, but we're just finding these natural substances are harmonizing the body, bringing it back into balance, and therefore, and addressing certain deficiencies, and therefore enabling the body to heal itself. Even to the extent that some people have found their medications are going down, like with diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, anti-inflammatories. In some instances, the pharmaceutical medications are going down, and our natural oral sprays are coming in and helping the body. Now, just as we found with the pharmaceutical industry, there are a few question marks as to how the lobbying is done, the fact that they're huge, huge corporations. They have a lot of lobbying power. There are some conflicts of interest with some people on certain pharmaceutical research and boards, also being on some of the healthcare boards that go to make up policy. So there's a lot of question marks around that whole arena. And if one looks at the future of GM foods, these seeds are produced, as I say, by huge multinational companies which have a lot of lobbying power. Are we then later on going to find that there's such exclusivity on the production of GM foods, perhaps less labeling initially, just like there was with many processed foods, where there had to be decades of lobbying for the exact ingredients to be put on the packets? And we still have a situation where there's so much processed food around that contains unnecessary sugar, unnecessary salt, because sugar and salt are the two key things that get the taste buds going. So the sugar and salt, you know, some people say the excuse is that the sugar and salt in there is for preservative functions. The reality is sugar is not a preservative. Sugar actually attracts bacteria. Salt has some preservative function, but it has to be a very high quantity of salt for it to really have a preservative function. So why is so much sugar and salt added to so much processed foods and other foods that it's not necessary to put it in there? For one reason only: to get the taste buds going, in order to condition the body to think that it needs more of that food, so you buy more. You like it more, you buy more. That increases sales. It also changes our want and desire for natural substances, and it converts our desire to processed substances and substances that contain the salt and the sugar. So whichever way one looks at it, it's not a natural thing. It's not how our bodies were really made to function. It's not what our bodies really, really, truly need. A little bit of salt, yes, fine. We need the sodium in the salt. We need the potassium in the salt. But we don't need too much. Sugar is questionable. We don't actually need to add sugar to anything. We have enough energy-producing substances in the natural carbohydrates and the natural sugars that are in substances, natural substances like fruit. There's even carbohydrate in vegetables. The thing is that with natural vegetables, fruit, natural meats, totally unprocessed meats, fish, eggs, all the things that God put on the earth, basically, everything is in balance. Even the skins, even the enzymes that are in it, every nutritional substance in there is in balance. So the moment man starts interfering in the balance of nature, there will be other repercussions, some that we didn't plan for and some that may be planned for. And GM foods is one way in which man is changing how foods are produced. What is the reason? It's because we say there isn't going to be enough food in the world to feed the population. The population at the moment is about just coming up to 7 billion. They say that by around about 2030, the population is going to be 9 billion in the world. And the reality is we have a product that everyone in the world could benefit from, at least one of those products. So our market already, when you consider we are going to be worldwide, we're open in a certain number of countries now, but we are going to be worldwide. That's how big our market is. And that market thinks there's going to be a food shortage. Well, there are other ways to address food shortages, like the amount we eat, less wastage. There are, many, many different ways. Being less attracted to sugar-containing foods, salt-containing foods, being more attracted to natural foods. When you're attracted to natural foods, you don't eat actually quite so much. Again, your body desires balance. So if you feed balance to the body, the body will want more balance. So what I'm saying here is we've seen a lot of changes brought in by the pharmaceutical industry. We've seen people getting hooked on painkillers, sedatives, many different drugs that were meant for acute one-off episodes or occasional episodes, but instead people are getting almost addicted to it and being on these kinds of medications that were not meant to be chronic, long-term medications. And it's obviously great for the pharmaceutical companies because it's increasing their sales. It's not necessarily great for the population. But the population has to be very discerning to see all that. Now, does that mean, I wonder, whether we're going to hit the same kind of thing with GM foods, where the GM foods are altered and changed in a way that's meant to help mass production, help to decrease the amount of pesticides being used, help resistance against various insecticide-type infections that plants get, etc. However, that resistance may confer other properties that we don't necessarily want to see. Now, why am I mentioning all of this? Why is it so relevant to the TEN sprays? Because just as the pharmaceutical industry has such a hold on the massive amount of drugs that are being used that may not always be necessary, we may be going down the route of massive multinational companies providing seeds of GM foods that aren't always absolutely necessary, but it's all going to be tied up with exclusive rights for all of these seeds. And we may not always know how these seeds' genetic makeup has been changed, and we may not always know the properties. So what I'm describing here is even vegetables have a sugar content. Obviously, fruit has a high sugar content. What about if they're made from GM foods that the sugar content in the fruit is even higher than it should be in order for us to find it tastier and therefore eat more? Are we therefore going to see health issues almost being created by what we thought was natural foods? It's just that they're GM foods. So how can we protect ourselves from all of that? Well, actually, the TEN sprays, we don't claim to treat, cure, or prevent any disorder, but we do know that a lot of people have already described that taking the TEN sprays, they seem to want to eat more naturally. Their appetite is curbed to be more natural. They seem to desire the sugary stuff less, the highly salty stuff less, the unnatural stuff less, and they feel that their body is living more in balance. So really what I'm describing is we could also be using our TEN sprays, and I'm actually an example of that. I have lost 30 pounds in just a few months. I have lost, over 5 inches off my waist, inches off my thighs, inches off my hips. I feel healthier, having had, really quite serious fibromyalgia following a meningitic toxic illness that left my muscles very, very weak, very, very painful, very, very stiff. In fact, I've posted a photo of the recent event in the Tenacious group today and on my Facebook page, and you'll see on that I'm standing. The reality is I could never have done that show before I had the TEN sprays. 1 year ago, I could never have stood for that length of time and still be talking to you today, only a few days afterwards. An event like that would have knocked me out for possibly nearly a month. And those of you who've got chronic illness, you'll understand exactly what I mean by that. You need energy, you need muscle power to be able to do these things. And I didn't have it before. It's the TEN sprays that have changed my life and enabled me to do things like that. It's given me the energy, it's brought my appetite back under control because my body was craving sugar, because it was craving energy, because I couldn't make the energy myself. Now the cell energy is helping me make energy at the cellular level. The Slim by 10 has helped me get my metabolism back into a better way of functioning, helped my appetite. It's even actually, the Carulima fimbriata in there is actually even helping me build muscle. Plus, the D power has addressed my D deficiency, the B boost. In fact, I had a medical checkup recently and I had my B12 level done. The consultant said she'd never seen a B12 level that high in my particular disorder. So, it's absolutely great. And the Super 10 is also helping me. It's helping me a lot with inflammation. It's helping me with my sleep. It's helping detoxify. And it's also helping me detoxify although I try to eat as naturally and healthily as possible, the reality is nowadays we can't get away from toxins, whether it's in the air or whether it's on the skins of the food we eat because of the way it's been transported, or pesticides, or many different reasons. We all need detoxification. So, regardless of whether there's going to be a lot of GM foods or a little GM foods or how there's going to be altered, the reality is we already have a high level of pollution. We already have a high level of insecticide and pesticides being and we need products like these sprays. In fact, talking about pollution, there was also an article recently that lorry drivers are actually removing devices that were put on the lorries to cut down the diesel pollution. So, you know, even in the air, we're getting a huge amount of pollution that we actually need to protect ourselves. Now, how can we do that naturally? Well, fortunately, we have a TEN spray that can actually help us with that. So, you know, I think these products are absolutely amazing. They're absolutely fantastic. They went down very well at the exhibition, and I'm very excited to be showing the products again this Friday, and hopefully with a banner as well. And then later on, I will be getting some special flyers printed up as well. So, you know, it's really exciting to be at the forefront of what's happening here in the UK, and we're very excited to be working with you all in the USA. So back to you, Denise and Dale. Anything else you want me to cover?
Yeah, you're going to have to clarify some things. You know, you are from you are from over the seas there. What is a lorry?
Now, Dale, you sound like Terry. When I chat to Terry and I say vitamin, he says, what's that? Oh, you mean vitamin. A lorry is a truck.
Okay. All right, guys. I knew you guys heard that too and said, "What in the heck is a lorry?" Well, that's some great information, Anita. I was just thinking, you know, as you were talking about, you know, these multinational food companies, you know, and when I started researching and found that, you know, multinational food companies are in the business of keeping their food products in the market. Whether they're healthy or unhealthy, their goal is to create revenue and to keep these products in the market. And that's why we have to be very concerned about what we're purchasing, because what we're finding is that, as you talked about, the more sugar content that we have in our food, it knocks out our glutathione levels early on in life. So, you know, normally they say if you do everything right, by the time you turn 45, your glutathione levels begin to slip. But what we're finding now is that because the food diets that we have now are so sugar-based, that we're finding that youngsters in their 20s and 30s are now having low glutathione levels and having diseases that have been known for older the generation. They're starting to get it in a younger generation. So when you think about the multinational food companies and what they're producing, you know, their goal is to produce as much as possible. And if they can get people hooked on sugar, and, you know, people keep buying the sugar product. But they've taken a step further, you know, to ensure that their revenues and ensure that their market share doesn't decrease. Because now, you know, you have food companies like Nestle who has bought pharmaceutical companies. So now a pharmaceutical company like Novartis is owned by Nestle. And so here you have a company who is, you know, producing food and possibly through the ingredients of those food, the people are becoming unhealthy. Now they have a pharmaceutical company and say, oh, well, you know, if you become unhealthy, we got a drug that will, you know, help you feel better, you know. And so they got their hands in both piles now to increase their profits and increase their market share. So we have to be very, very concerned about what's going on around us, as you said, and we have to make the best choices for our bodies, and that best choices, as we know, are our 10 products. We have a spray for that. So, you know, just wanted to pop in and give that bit of information because I think it's very important to tie that into what you were talking about as well. So, Pastor Denise, we've got to wrap this call up. Anything for Dr. Anita before we wrap up?
I think what Dr. Anita share with us today is information that we just need to hear to make us more aware and more conscious when we do go to buy foods, and also to educate our children on how they're eating. I think about the cereals and the amount of sugar that's in cereal and soda. Boy, I almost broke down and bought a soda a couple of days ago. And I figured, well, this is an orange soda, so caffeine, it may not be that bad. But I just happened to check the grams of sugar. It was 76 grams of sugar in one little 16-ounce bottle of soda. I thought, my goodness. So I think that it's really good information to know and to hear. But I think what's wonderful about what Dr. Poole said is that we have the 10 vitamin spray that can help to build our immune system to ward off some of these conditions that fight it against the body. But we need to be thankful. But we also need to take massive action and make sure we're getting the word out as quickly as we can so people can start to take care of themselves and live a better, healthy, and longer life. Dr. Poole, thank you for bringing all that with us today. This is another call that's going to be worth listening to. I just understand what GMs are and to check the label, know what you're buying, know what you're putting in the body. Thank you, Dr. Poole.
Absolutely, Dale and Denise, and you mentioned some really, really important points there. In fact, Dale, when you were mentioning about the young 20-year-olds, getting diseases that they didn't used to get, absolutely, there are now the incidence of diabetes in children of 6 years old has dramatically increased, and the pharmaceutical companies, food companies, and now the GM seed production companies virtually are going to merge possibly, and so we're going to see total control. And the reality, folks, is we can't paint pharmaceutical companies as, the culprits. We can't paint the food multinationals as the culprits. The reality is the whole world is the culprit because it's the way things are run. The way business is run now, big business, is it's through the stock exchanges of the world. And the world all trades with each other. And the reality is we all trade in the stock exchanges. The multinationals are there to make profit for the shareholders. The shareholders are global. The shareholders have to be satisfied. That's the way business runs. And that's why it runs just on profit rather than the big, big, big long-term picture of what is actually good for the public. So it is exactly as you said, Denise, it's about helping to make people aware and to educate the next generation to make wise choices. We can't change a system. What we can do is share the sprays, share the opportunity, and give people the awareness and the education of why nutrition matters so that they can make good choices. Back to both of you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Ooh, powerful information today. Thank you, Dr. Poole. Let's go to Atlanta, Georgia with 1 star. Kevin Vaughn with our quote for today. Kevin Vaughn, are you there, sir?
Pastors, how you doing? Anita Poole, how's my business partners doing today? How y'all doing out there?
Kevin!
Pastor Lisa, I always love to hear Dr. Anita Poole's voice. She is awesome. Can't wait to meet her. Woo! Gonna be awesome. That's great information today, Dr. Poole. And Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale, thank you so much for what you guys do each and every week. Hey, Atlanta's excited. Just want to let everybody know there's a TTP tonight in Atlanta for those who have business partners or potential folks who want to sign up or see the presentation and get the training. We're doing one tonight, Pastor Denise, Pastor Dale, and Anita, at 7 p.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. So in Kennesaw, it's on the website. Go to winwith10.com/calendar for the details, ladies and gentlemen. TTP tonight. I want to encourage everybody to continue setting up TTPs each and every day, each and every week. Share, invite. Hey, some powerful quotes for you today. I hope you enjoy these quotes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you 4 quick quotes. The first one is, the time to be awesome is now. Y'all hear that one? The time to be awesome is now. Our next quote, ladies and gentlemen, comes from another awesome author there. It says, don't let someone who gave up on their dreams talk you out of yours. Come on now. Don't listen to nobody. Let's keep rolling. Hey, our next quote of the day is, follow your dreams, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. I love it. Hey, our last quote is dedicated to an awesome individual who just recently passed, Dr. Miles Monroe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the quote of the week. And I know Pastor Denise and Pastor Dale and Anita will love this one. This is from Dr. Miles Monroe, ladies and gentlemen. Sight is a function of the eyes, but vision is a function of the heart. You guys keep rolling and keep moving forward. Welcome to your future. Back to you guys.
Powerful quotes. Powerful, powerful, powerful quotes. Thank you, One Star Kevin von Atlanta, Georgia. As you heard, family, if you have guests and friends in Atlanta, Georgia tonight, 7 o'clock p.m., get them in the house. To get the location, go to the company's website and check and look at the calendar of events to get the location for that TGP that will take place tonight. Also, do not forget to join Mr. T and Show Me the Money call tonight, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, right here, the same number, followed by the beautiful Pat Loeb at 9 o'clock p.m. So, family, the information that you need is being provided. Pastor Joe, will you please come give us that phone number again for the 10 opportunity? Family, write this number down. Write the code and the instructions how to get your guests on the 10-minute opportunity call, because it is working. People are getting what they need to know and hear enough to get interested to be a part of your business. So, Pastor Joe, will you please give instructions how to dial into the 24-hour, 10-minute opportunity call?
Absolutely. It's the 24-hour recorded call. We do not do the live calls anymore at 12, 3, 6, and 9. There is no live calls. Everything is being driven to the 24-hour call. So now you can send somebody to that call anytime, a day, 7 days a week. And that number is 605-475-4099. 605-475-4099. And then you have to put in the code, which is 102-3872 pound, 102-3872 pound. Wait for about a couple seconds and then press pound again. So you're going to have to hit pound twice, 102-3872 pound, and then pound again, and the call will be activated.
Okay, family, once again, that number is 605-475-4099. The code is 1023872. Push pound, wait a few seconds, and push pound again. Get your guests on there 24 hours a day to let them hear about what's happening with 10. Don't forget, join Mr. T tonight, followed by Pat Loeb. Be back with us again tomorrow morning. Dr. Poole, thank you so very much. Dr. Poole, you said you posted a picture of yourself on Facebook. I want y'all to know that before Dr. Poole started taking the sprays, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Poole, I think you were in a wheelchair, not combined to, but I know you were using a wheelchair. You were not able to walk around. There was a lot of things she was not able to do physically. But now that she's taking the sprays, Dr. Poole is looking like a teenager. I'm telling you. So she said she posted some pictures on Tenacious Generation Facebook page today. So go check her out. I'm telling you, she's looking like she's 22 all over again. Thank you, family, for being here with us today. Be back again tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And know this, without a shadow of a doubt, you are loved and you are greatly appreciated. Have a blessed day on purpose. Mwah.